Thank you, Hugh. And a very good evening to you. Now what a difference a week can make. Because when Luton left the field here on the back of their derby win against Watford, there seemed to be real grounds for optimism. But having lost to Sunderland and Coventry, blowing a 2-0 lead in the process, it feels as though that one step forward has been followed by two back. So as things stand right now, they're in the bottom three in the midst of an injury crisis. And whilst the last three clubs who finished 18th in the Premier League had won the championship title the following year, the Hatters are embroiled in a different fight. The West Brom are in those heady circles, just about. Whilst October dawned with the Albion top, November's arrived with them down in 5th. Their last win some way back in the rear-view mirror, and with just one goal in the last 5 games. Both sides might look at the form of the other and think this is a good chance to get themselves back on the horse. This is how the two sides line up. Kaminsky in goal for Luton. The back three of Hashioka, McGuinness and Mengi. Moses, Krause, Clark and Bell. Chong behind Adebayo and Morris up front. Albion have Palmer between the posts. Furlong, Holgate, Hegeman, Styles. Ratchett and Mowat. Wallace, Diangana and Grant with Madja up front. Referee tonight is Dean Whitestone. Albion in their dark blue and white striped shirts, and they're defending the Oak Road end of the ground away to our right-hand side that houses the travelling Albion fans. Luton in their traditional orange shirts and black shorts, and they're defending the Kenilworth Road end as they kick from left to right. Well, if 2023 brought Luton meteoric success and the culmination of an extraordinary rise, 2024 has brought only 5 league wins. How they need a catalyst for change. West Brom's blip's not been as far-reaching, but they have lost significant ground, and they could already be 5 or 6 points behind the top 2 if they don't win tonight. We're underway. And Luton hoists the high ball forward, Jordan Clark, sticking it straight onto the roof of the far stand here at Kenilworth Road, where it's bounced 8 or 9 times on the corrugated surface before falling down and rolls towards the edge of the penalty area. Ball out of play for an Albion throw, and I'm delighted to say that alongside me, Scott Minto.
Evening, Jim. And I was working with you the other night, and there was an Abbott moment, and I think we just saw that ball nearly went out of the stands for Kenny.
Yeah, he was making sure, Jordan Clark. So Albion right in front of us, able to bring the ball forward. With Carl and Grant, an opportunity for him to take on Hashioka. It's the cross that comes in that's easily headed away. At the back by Tedem Mengi. Mengi playing the ball forward. He's playing in the middle of the 3 centre-halves. Although Luton might end up actually playing with the back 4.
Yeah, it looks like.
Interesting to see how things develop. They could move Hashioka out to right wing back, but they could flatten off and play him at right back in a 4.
It's going to be interesting. I think it could well be 3 when you're with the ball, and then a 4-4-2 without it. It looks like Hashioka is going to move on to the sort of right wing back position when Luton do have it, and yet come in and make the 4. So we know that a lot of teams without the ball now do a 4-4-2, both in the Premier League as well as the Championship, because you can have that second striker to try and press as much as possible. But yeah, it'd be interesting.
The upshot of it is that Victor Moses, who's been playing on the right-hand side, is out on the left. Bell, if it is 3 centre-halves, he's going to be playing on the left of those 3 centre-halves. And you're not missing anything here, because Albion have a player down injured just outside the centre circle. It seemed as though it's relatively innocuous, but it's Uros Ratchett that is down and is receiving lengthy treatment.
Yeah, he went up for a header with Chong, and as he came down, I think he's just tweaked his ankle and he's struggling a little bit. The physio was looking at him, and I think it's one of those where you try to run off, and with adrenaline you can certainly do that, but after 5 or 10 minutes, if he has tweaked his ligaments, then you're not going to be able to carry on with that. That'd be the worst possible start for him.
There are another couple of games tonight taking place. In the first round of the FA Cup, some game already at Meadow Lane. Notts County 1, Alfreton 1, with Waldock giving Alfreton the lead and Platt equalising moments later for Notts County. So 1-1 there. Tamworth against Huddersfield's 0-0. Game in Scotland tonight as well, Wraith against Ayr, which is also currently goalless. And talking of the FA Cup, our live FA Cup first round tie for you is Sunday lunchtime. Sutton United, who, if you're our age, were cup killers extraordinaire. They're taking on Birmingham City, and that's Sunday down the green lane, and it'll be live on TalkSport 2 from 12:30.
Love the FA Cup, and especially the first few rounds as well. All vying to try and get towards the third round. But that should be some tie, that one.
Throw inside the penalty area is headed away by Furlong, and then a second cross from Luton. Headed away again. And Albion might be able to break, getting it forward quickly down the left-hand side. Jed Wallace, right in front of us. Wallace bringing the ball down, beaten though by Hashioka, and Mengi is there to be able to knock it away. Albion will mop up, and they will go back to their goalkeeper. And it's played out by Alex Palmer to the right-hand side for Darnell Furlong. Born in Luton, his dad a Luton player at one stage in his career, Paul.
Played with him with Chelsea. We signed it the same year, 94.
He had a
very good striker.
A spell here at the back end of his career where he got a dozen goals or so in not one of Luton's better teams during that tricky spell where they were falling down the league. Here's Clark playing the ball out to the far touchline. Luton have won it back easily, and McGuinness will just play it forward for Jordan Clark again. 4 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. Luton 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Taif Chong trying to win the ball back, has been able to do that after a slight mistake from Holgate. Step round a challenge from Dean Garner. Now Victor Moses will take it on and win the first corner of the night. No, he hasn't. I thought that he'd just driven a ball in that had hit Furlong, but it was just a miss kick and goes straight into the hoardings behind Palmer and out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our right-hand side. 5 gone then, Luton 0, West Brom.
Yeah, I thought that was a corner as well, but he has just kind of scuffed it. But Victor Moses, I mean, with all the career that he's had, extremely experienced guy, can play on the left or the right. Interesting, we thought he might be starting on the right today, but no, it's the left. And definitely without the ball, Luton, they've got a 4 at the back, and it is like a 4-4-2.
Yeah, Moses has arrived at Luton after a spell playing at Spartak Moscow. The player who's played well over 500 games for club and country now. Here's a good ball forward, and a good piece of goalkeeping as well. Palmer racing out, and he just got there ahead of Adebayo to be able to turn it away, but that was the most potent ball of the night so far.
Great ball from Krause, wasn't it? And that's what he's capable of. You know, I do think they've missed both Barkley and Lokonga as well, and it's in a very, very important position where you control the tempo of the games. But Krause has come in and done very well, showed a class bit of a through ball there, and Alex Palmer did very well coming out and reading the situation.
Now Clark and Chong have done well to win the ball back in the midfield again, getting it away from Carl and Grant. Mengi will then turn on halfway and go back for Thomas Kaminski, who's making his 50th league appearance for Luton tonight. Just 2 clean sheets in his last 29 games, which is not down to him. That is stretch of the imagination. Clark getting it forward. Adebayo picking it up on the right-hand side of the box. Trying to get round the back, and he has now won the first corner. Retreating Callum Styles came back and made life difficult for him, but Adebayo has had a good start to this game.
Yeah, he has. And I think Luton have had a good start to this game as well. Whenever they've got the ball, they've tried to play with purpose. They don't look like a side that's lacking in confidence. And I just think it's so important when you're playing at home, get the fans really behind you. The first 10-15 minutes go out whatever side has come to the Kenny. They're certainly trying to do that.
So Victor Moses to take the corner from the Luton right-hand side. 6 inside that congested penalty area. It's an Albion header that gets it away. A loose ball brought down in the midfield by Tom Krause, and then played by Amari Belbak out of Taif Chong on the Luton left. They're level with the edge of the Albion penalty area as the cross comes in, but it's easily volleyed away by the Serbian international Ratchich, who seems okay after that injury that he picked up in the early stages. Bell pinging a long one forward. Morris trying to get on the end of that. Decent defensive header from Styles, then turned over his own shoulder by Mowat to get the ball out of harm's way for Albion. And then when Mengi plays it forward, he's missed Hashioka. He's slid down the right-hand side of him, but down a very tight corridor. It's gone straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the West Bromwich Albion left by Callum Styles. And he's a player that's had to wait a little bit of time to make his first start for West Brom. A player that they signed from Barnsley, a Hungarian international, as part of the Hungary side that beat England 4-0 a couple of years back at Molineux. Came on at left back very early on last weekend, with Hagen moving into centre half because of The early injury to Shemi Ajayi, and Styles making his first start for the club today.
He did well there as well. As a crossfield ball came over, he'd have known Colton Morris, big centre forward, to be coming into him, but he's very brave and won the ball. I can tell you from a left back's point of view, it's not really what you want, that hanging ball above you. Big strong centre forward coming over the top.
That's a beautiful take by Chong. He brought the ball down out of thin air, controlled it beautifully on the top of his left foot. Little 1-2 between him and Victor Moses. It's been a purposeful start here for Luton, belying the fact that they've lost their last 2 games and have won only 4 out of the last 31 in all competitions. Just 5 league wins in 2024, as I mentioned. Now been playing the ball forward, and they've had 5 league wins already this season. Kaminsky's got it, and he will now drive it back out to the Luton left-hand side, where Moses goes up for it with Diangane. Ball ricochets off them. Rakic then beats Chong in the midfield battle. Mowat can work it to his left-hand side for Styles. Styles will take a touch, and then he's just given a shove to the ground by Adebayo. Play allowed to go on. Styles was absolutely adamant that he should have had a free kick there. And West Brom get it back quickly and lay it back for Hagen. And now Mowat can work it through the midfield, and Furlong can bring it forward. Now he goes for Diangane. Rakic makes a run forward ahead of him. Jed Wallace was in there lurking with intent as well. Carlton Morris back defending for Luton has won it back, and Moses was caught by Diangane, put his hands up to protest his innocence, but referee Whitestone wasn't having it, and it is a free kick that Luton will take about 10 yards inside their own half. But through the opening 10 minutes, Scott Minto, there's no doubt that Rob Edwards is going to be the happier of the 2 managers.
Absolutely. I was just about to say that's the first time really West Brom have got into Luton's half with any purpose. Jed Wallace tried to play, or try to get in behind. He was offside if the ball had to come to him, but at least they're trying to get the ball out their own half and into Luton's.
1 game in Scotland tonight, as I mentioned, in the Championship. Ayr go up to second if they avoid defeat at Wraith, but they're a goal down tonight. Ball played into the Luton penalty area, and Chong will try and get there. Furlong can get there. Poor clearance from him. Victor Moses has got it, and he's going to be able to flick it clear. Now Kraus trying to drive in a left-footed ball. That's hit Mowat. Comes out for Chong again. Chong coming inside the penalty area, then checks and stops and sets it up for Kraus. Little snapshot from him from a tight angle, and it's ended up going high and wide at the top right-hand corner. Out of play, 11 gone, 0-0.
And actually, he's better than that. He's inside the box. Yeah, okay, he hasn't got too much time, but he's still got at least half a yard, maybe even a yard, just to wrap his foot around it and hit the target. And he's tried to go too hard with it, and he's not got the whip on it, but he's inside the box, as I say, 15 yards out, got to hit the target.
They did score against Oxford. It's the only goal he's got for Luton so far, a player on loan from Mainz in Germany, and not prolific from the centre of midfield throughout his career. His tally still in single figures, but he'd been really disappointed that he didn't make a better fist of that.
No, his game is more sort of that path, isn't it? Either the assist itself or the assist to the assist, and he's certainly shown class this season.
And now he's got it again, and given little chance of being able to keep the ball in from Hashioka. He did well to win the battle. West Brom have won it back and can get it away. Hagen back inside his own penalty area. The long clearance from Mowat, picked up by Jed Wallace, who's facing his own penalty area when he lays the ball back for Torbjorn Hagen. And then they calmly find Palmer, and Mowat will play out from the back. Work forward through the midfield for Wallace again. The Albion skipper continues his run forward off the ball, but Carlin Grant can't find him. Hashioka controls. His first touch not the best, and that just gave Wallace an opportunity to try and lunge in and win it back, and in doing so he just caught the Japanese international, who's gone down with his face etched with pain. Well, there's going to be a free kick to Luton, and just a little word from the referee to Wallace on his way past. A genuine but mistimed attempt to win the ball.
Well, it was a definite foul, or possibly even a yellow card, but why not play on? The ball was played over the top into the corner for Adebayo to run onto, so I mean, even if you wanted to give a yellow card, you can still wait for play to go on and do that at the end when something's sort of, it's got either gone out of play or ended in a goal. I think Luton could have had the advantage there.
And Mark McGuinness slices one out of play under a little bit of pressure. £10 million defender signed from Cardiff for the beginning of the season. Now Styles brings it forward and claims that it should be a corner. Now look, for all the world, it was a goal kick, and that was what the referee saw. You look back at the sides that have been relegated from the Premier League. The last 4 championship winners have been sides who've just come down. So that's Norwich, Fulham, Burnley and Leicester respectively. The last 3 of those were the side that finished 18th in the Premier League, and that is what Luton did last season. But at the moment, Luton finding themselves in a completely different battle to that perhaps those historical precedents would have suggested they might be.
So what you're saying is they're going to have a fantastic rest of the season now, aren't they?
Might not drop a point from here on in. Ball driven forward by Kaminsky. Have started well tonight. Hagen, good header. Got that away from Morris. A few Luton claims, but nothing is given. Mowat can bring the ball forward and try to chip one down the line, and it's shanked off the outside of his left boot and goes out of play for a throw. The flip side of that, though, Scott, one of the last 12 sides relegated from the Premier League, only one, has finished in the bottom half the following season. That was Norwich back in the 22-23 campaign. The last 33 sides relegated from the Premier League, so that's 11 years worth. 6 have won the title. Another 6 have gone straight back up, 5 of them through the playoffs. Only 5 of the 33 have finished 14th or lower. Sunderland are the only one to have finished in the bottom 6. They were relegated, that back in 2017. So, well, the weight of statistics suggests that Luton will be able to play their way out of this. But they do need some players back fit pretty quickly. Ball is worked out to their left-hand side. And Holgate's got some defending to do up in the physical battle against Adebayo, and he's won the throw over on that far touchline. Big night for Mason Holgate. Holgate, who hasn't started a game for West Brom since the playoffs back in 2019. Back here on loan from Everton, having had a loan spell at Southampton last season. Hoping that he's going to be able to re-establish himself as a regular. This is first start for the club in this loan spell, which is already a good 10 weeks old.
You know, really interesting stats you came out with there, Jim. But are you saying that 11 out of the 33 went straight back up, so 1 in 3?
Yes, exactly that.
So, of the 3 teams that come down, on average, 1 goes up.
Yeah. In fact, it's 12 out of 33.
12 out of 33.
But yes, every year, on average, 1 of the 3 will go back up, and sometimes it's more.
Yeah. At this moment in time, it doesn't look like it would be Luton, but I always go back to when I was working on the Championship, where Aston Villa were 13th on March the 1st. They won an incredible run under Dean Smith, sneaked into the playoffs, into that 6th spot on the last day, went up through the playoffs. Obviously struggled the very next season, but look where they are now. They're doing okay, aren't they?
Yep, top of the Champions League, which seemed a far cry from where they were then. Here's a high ball hung inside that West Brom penalty area, looking for Hashioka, that headed away. West Brom able to drive it forward over the halfway line now with Carl and Grant. Grant faced up by Krause, did well to get back goal side. Grant's persistence was then rewarded. As off balance, he could feed Mowat. Mowat will work it out towards the Albion right for Furlong. And West Brom able to find the space and just get Luton back inside their own half for a moment. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport 2. 17 minutes behind us. 17 minutes in which neither goalkeepers had the chance to really add to his highlights reel up to this point. Furlong can bring it forward. A veteran of more than 200 Albion games now. Playing it through the midfield. Mowat to Styles. Styles has got Grant out on the left-hand touchline, right down underneath us in this magnificent commentary position. Grant hanging a high ball inside the penalty area. That's headed away by Amari Bell. Victor Moses then on the edge of his own penalty area. He got caught as he tried to make a clearance. Morris is being able to help that on. Hagen wins it and plays it back for Holgate. Holgate works it out to the Albion right-hand side, but Moses is still down hurt. And referee Whitestone, when the ball went back into the centre circle, decided it was in a neutral area and he could stop play to see whether Victor Moses was seriously injured or not.
Well, I tell you what, Uros Racic was holding his arms out as if like, why did he stop play? It's not a head injury, so therefore he doesn't have to worry about that sort of safety side of things. I'll be honest with you, I'd be wanting to carry on. And if he wants to go down and stay down, whether he's not seriously injured, but it's an ankle injury. Point is, referee, I don't understand why he stopped play there. And Rakic didn't either.
There's a point that he made quite vociferously. So play will restart with a drop ball. Possession is going to be handed to Mason Holgate, but 10 yards inside his own half. And he will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Alex Palmer, fluorescent yellow tonight, controlling the ball and driving it down towards this near touchline. Grant going up for it with Hashioka. And it's cleared by Mengi. And it's going to come down just over the touchline for a throw that will be taken on the Albion left-hand side by Callum Stiles. They've only had 3 goals in their 6 home games so far this season, Albion, but they have seen 16 in the 6 away games, of which they've scored more than half. They've got a good record on the road, 3 wins and 1 defeat. Wallace getting the ball inside the Luton penalty area. McGuinness steers it away, not particularly successfully. Mowat then misdirects the ball out towards the right-hand side, but Furlong can get there. He'll play it in towards Rakic. And McGuinness, who's a very tall, bulky customer at the back, just did enough to put Rakic off and shepherd the ball back for Kaminsky.
I'll tell you what, that was great vision there from Furlong, and the ball was very nearly inch perfectly weighted for Rakic, who made a good run in behind.
The retreating Hegem heads away as Luton go long. Krause can pick up the seconds. Back from him to Jordan Clark. Chipped out towards the far touchline, but really well read by Furlong. Control not the best. He got there, but it just flicked off his foot and falls for Chong. Chong to Moses and back for Taith. Chong again. And now Moses a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Tries to go the long way around the defender. Whips the ball inside the penalty area. Couldn't get to Adebayo. And Luton try again to tease it forward, and Mari Bell step forward from the back. Ratchet sticks his foot on it and then can play it forward. Now Jed Wallace has got it, and he's got the opportunity to run at McGuinness here. McGuinness holding him up. Albion getting the cavalry to come forward. Carlan Grant in support, making his way towards the edge of the area. Square from him to Mowat. Mowat try to roll it in on the left-hand side of the area for Madger, but he missed him, and they just can't get Josh Madger into the game.
Do you know what? Alex Morris is a really good player, but that's 3 times now he's overplayed a pass, or one of them he's scuffed out play. Just him sort of to have that little bit of composure as you're about to take that pass in. It wasn't a difficult one for Madger, and it would have been interesting to see, because he was going into the box. And suddenly, if he was able to turn his defender, he would have been through on goal.
Mengi's ball forward. Furlong headed it away. He thought that Adebayo was offside. He's not. Moses plays it in. Almost got to Adebayo. Then a good touch from Krause. Back from Morris. Back to goal inside the penalty area. He laid it back, but Rakic clears. Then good control from Mengi. And Luton are going to be able to bring it forward again. Hashioka scuffing it down the line. Krause turning it forward. Might get a second bite of the cherry. Dispossesses Stiles, but can only poke it forward to Hegem. And then it's cleared by Palmer. Sliced straight out of play and almost hit the TV commentary team away to our right-hand side. 0-0.
And I know them very well. I'm sure one of them would have just headed it straight back out if it had come towards him. But I don't think Alex Palmer needed to take that first time. He panicked a bit. The ball was pinged into him. He could have taken a touch. And in the end, just gave the ball away.
Krause. Good ball from him. Morris, right-hand side of the penalty area. And Palmer can make the save. Just opened up for Krause. He elected to play the ball in for Carlton Morris rather than going for goal. That might have been the right decision. Morris had wanted a second touch. Then the angle got tight. And Hegem could come across and make life difficult. The shot on target, but comfortably dealt with by Palmer.
Yeah, I think Krause was a little bit too far away to have a shot by the time he made the pass. And when Morris took the touch, the angle, by the time he had the shot, was really, really tight. And it would have needed to be some strike to beat Alex Palmer from there. But good play from Luton after what the last 5 or so minutes has been more or less controlled by Albion, without them creating a clear-cut chance, but still they've been able to get hold of the ball and stop the tide that has started from Luton early on in this game.
Well, Luton have won only one of the last 8 games that they played against West Brom. In fact, they've only beaten the Baggies twice since 1986. They've looked the better side from pretty much the first whistle tonight. We're midway through the first half here on TalkSport 2. And 0-0 it remains. Luton have got a throw on halfway. Let me tell you what's coming up tomorrow. 2 live Premier League games for you over on TalkSport. Starting on Tyneside, Newcastle against Arsenal, and then followed by league leaders Manchester City's long trip south with their 13 fit outfield players. They go to Bournemouth. Those games kicking off at 12:30 and 3 respectively. on Game Day exclusive, and then Game Day live tomorrow on Talk Sport. Over on Talk Sport 2 tomorrow. Back to cricket action, the second one-day international between the West Indies and England in Antigua. Our coverage starting at 1 ahead of the first ball at 1:30, and that's on Talk Sport 2 tomorrow.
It was interesting hearing Pep Guardiola, who I'm a massive fan on, complaining about the amount of injuries guy. He wants to come down here and speak to Rob Edwards, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure that his comments drew a few wry smiles around the country. Morris trying his luck here, might break Moses' way. And it's snatched at the attempt when he maybe had a little bit more time inside the penalty area. Palmer beating another on-target effort clear. And it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, better. And Carlton Morris is getting more and more involved in the game now, isn't he? He picks up the ball just outside the box on the right-hand side. A little step over, comes into his left foot. And it's a good strike. It's a decent save as well from Palmer. And it comes at Moses very quickly, but yeah, he knows he should have been doing better there.
All the chances coming away to our right-hand side for Luton Town. And with Palmer making routine saves at the moment, he's not being asked to do any more than that. We're talking about the goal drought that the Albion have had, 1 goal in their last 5 games, but if you dig a little bit deeper, their XG combined over those last 5 games is 6. So that shows that the underperformances, the lack of quality of finishing, as opposed to a lack of chances being created. But so far tonight, they just haven't seen the side of goal, really.
Johnny Drew was saying that, wasn't he? He's saying they actually have been creating the chances, just not been put in their way. But so far, this is the kind of Luton performance that we expect in the Championship. You know, a difficult place to come for Kenny here. They're really getting at you, and especially with Adebayo and Morris as well up front. Morris in particular. I think, we spoke about the 2 centre-halves for Albion. Are they able to handle these two? Can they play together in a partnership? But at times when the ball has gone long, especially to Morris, I think they've struggled to deal with him.
West Brom send a long one forward, which bounced awkwardly for Mengi, but Hashioka volleys it clear. And then it's an awkward bounce for Holgate, and Adebayo is an awkward customer for him to face as well, and he's done well. Under duress, he was being fouled. Referee's played the advantage, he's laid it back for Krause. Hashioka's got him. He's 2 or 3 yards in for the right-hand touchline. Play back from him to Mengi. Mengi through the centre circle for Mark McGuinness. The former Arsenal trainee will knock it to his left-hand side, and the Mari Bell's got it, or at least should have it. It's got stuck between his feet for a moment, but he could get it away. Kaminsky launches it long. Hashioka with a really good jump. Adebayo taking it on the edge of the area. Round 1 challenge. Got a shot in, but couldn't get the power in it. And Palmer gratefully drops on the ball.
Do you know what? Luton are going long. And the centre-half of Albion are not able to handle Adebayo and Morris. We talked about how Morris had that opportunity before, and he's certainly using his physicality. Well, just in the last couple of minutes, Adebayo has done exactly the same. First of all, he held the ball up really well where Mason Holgate was trying to get on top of him. And then somehow, and there were 2, possibly 3 defenders around him, he was still able to get a shot at Alex Palmer. Wasn't the strongest of shots in the end. So the defenders will claim they've done enough. But I tell you what, these 2 up front for Luton are certainly given the 2 centre-halves at West Brom a real handful tonight.
And even in the midst of this bad run that Luton have been on, they are finding the goals. They've scored in every home game that they played so far this season, even though they've only got 7 points from half a dozen matches here at the camp.
They've scored 1 more goal than West Brom, haven't they, Luton?
Over the whole season, yeah, absolutely. Here's Krause inside the centre of midfield. Hashioka making his way forward to his right. And Luton with a change of shape tonight, predominantly a back 4 with Hashioka at right back, Mengi alongside McGuinness, and then Bell at left back, and Moses moved out to a more conventional left wing position. So needs must as far as Rob Edwards is concerned with the defensive problems that they've got. I'm just concerned there might actually be a medical emergency, judging by the reaction of the Albion fans away to our right-hand side in the Oak Road end of the ground. They're waving vehemently and trying to attract the attention of the medical staff and stewards. And there is just a little bit of action going on near the front of the away end at the moment. So play for the time being is going to stop. And that will allow the coaches from both clubs just to get players over and have a word. And maybe it's a warmer night than a few thought, because a couple of the Albion players have dispensed with their long white sleeve T-shirts, taking them off. It's a hat on under their short sleeve shirts to start with. Jed Wallace, one of those, and he's being spoken to now by the Albion coaching staff away to our right hand side. Rob Edwards has got the Luton players around him as well. All of the Albion players being spoken to, with the exception of goalkeeper Palmer and Darnell Furlong, who at the moment don't feel the need to go over. But I think it's more from an Albion perspective, not what they're doing at the back, but how they can get better possession to get upfield and create more opportunities, because they have been rarer than hen's teeth at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, look, no one wants this for the reason, and I hope that whatever's happening there, that everything's going to be okay. But certainly in terms of just stoppages generally, Rob Edwards will not be wanting this, because Luton are most definitely the side that's on top so far. And I think this does give Carlos Corberán a real opportunity, you're right, Jim, to say it's not necessarily from a defensive point of view, although I do think the front two of Luton are giving the two centre-halves of Albion real trouble, real problems. But it's like, how do they find a way to at least get a shot on or off target? 5 goal attempts from Luton, 3 on target. Not an attempt on or off target yet for Albion.
Which, half an hour in, away to a side who are in the bottom 3, will be a massive frustration for Carlos Corberán, even if it wasn't framed by the fact that they've only got 1 goal in the previous 5 games. Our next live for EFL action comes from southeast London, Sunday afternoon. Millwall against Burnley, which could be a result of real relevance as far as West Brom are concerned, depending on what happens tonight. Burnley go to Millwall. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport 2 on Sunday, and follows that live FA Cup action from Sutton against Birmingham. More live Premier League action for you on Monday night. Fulham taking on Brentford, a West London derby. A 7 o'clock start for an 8 o'clock kickoff with Sam Matterface alongside Danny Murphy there. And then Tuesday night, we're back into Europe. Manchester City going to Sporting Lisbon on TalkSport. Wednesday, Villa are at Bruges, and then Arsenal are at Inter Milan. And we'll bring you both of those games live on Wednesday on TalkSport. 5:45 kickoff for the Villa game, and Arsenal at 8. And then on Thursday, still the Rude Boys at Old Trafford for the time being. Manchester United taking on PAOK. And that's an 8 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport. Whilst Tottenham go to Galatasaray, 5:45 on TalkSport 2. And then the rearranged championship game, a belter. Albion hoping that they're taking on Burnley on the back of something positive here. An 8 o'clock kickoff Thursday night in the Black Country of the Hawthorns. And Ian Danter and Dean Ashton will talk you through the action here on TalkSport 2, 8 o'clock Thursday night. And then this time next week we're back full circle to Watford against Oxford in the championship as well. Your EFL station, TalkSport, more live football than anybody else, with 500 games or so over the course of this 24-25 season. Well, I'm delighted we're back underway, and also that judging from a good 80 yards away, things have calmed down, although there's still plenty of medical staff down there towards the front of the Albion away end. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of concern, I'm delighted to say, and we're back underway with Alex Mowat in possession for West Brom. Yeah, there was a round of applause, which I think is a very, very positive thing for all the people around. So hopefully, whatever's happened, we still don't know, everything is going to be okay. Kaminsky getting it forward. Bell will fire it forward here for Luton. Hegan trying to deal with Morris as got his arms around the Luton man, but got it away legitimately. McGuinness then with a defensive challenge at the other end, which was far from legitimate, as he just basically bulldozed Manchester to the ground. It's a free kick which is taken on the halfway line by Albion. Stiles getting it forward for Grant, and then back again, and then Stiles chips down the left-hand touchline, giving Jed Wallace something to chase. Mengi will take it down towards the corner flag, and Stiles is there, knocks it away, but it has gone out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Luton right-hand side. 32 minutes in here on TalkSport 2, Scott Minto, still 0-0. Yeah, and it's down to Luton to go again. You know, they've just had a little break. It's almost like a mini half-time, and they wouldn't have wanted that because they have been playing well. They've definitely favoured Albion in terms of just calming things down a little bit, and Luton need to carry on now where they left off with that sort of high tempo. If you get the ball long, so be it. Forget about the pretty football. Play to your strengths. We know that these front two are very, very good. And at the moment, I wouldn't say they're bullying the two centre-halves of Albion, but they're certainly giving them lots of problems. 12 minutes to go to half-time, but first half is going to be elongated because of the couple of lengthy stoppages that we've seen. We'll probably have another 4 minutes on top, I would imagine. Racic makes a good decoy run down the Albion right-hand side. Diangana then waits for Furlong to make good ground. He gets it inside the penalty area. Wallace making a third-man run from deep, but Bell was there first and clears from the edge of the 6-yard box. He goes out of play for a West Brom throw over on the far touchline. Throw taken quickly back for Mason Holgate. Holgate emerges inside the centre circle and then plays it down towards Torbjorn Hegem. Hegem asking an awful lot of Karlan Grant, but he's quick. Very nearly made something of it. Then a sandy-haired photographer of veteran years decided he had to take pretty immediate evasive action. He thought he was going to get a face full of Karlan Grant. I wouldn't have needed the telephoto lens for that shot as his knee came very swiftly up towards the photographer's face. He got out of the way. And with no damage to anybody, play resumes and Luton put it straight out of play for an Albion throw.
Yeah, I think Karlan Grant, I didn't think he was even going to run for it because there's no way he was going to get it, and he very nearly did, and he could easily have just tried to hook his foot around and he would have gone into the photographer. So I think everybody's happy he didn't do that in the end.
Lewis Jameson has scored a second for Wraith, who lead Ayr by 2 goals to 0 in first half stoppage time in the Scottish Championship. That one will be against the form book. Wraith 2, Ayr 0, Jameson with both of those. Still 1-1 in that FA Cup tie, the local derby between Notts County and Alfreton. And 0-0 at the Lamb Ground, or 1-0. Tamworth leading Huddersfield with a Chris Maxwell own goal. Tamworth 1, Huddersfield 0, as Tamworth look to make it through to the second round of the FA Cup again. So that would be an upset. A couple of divisions below them. Tamworth 2/3 of the way down the National League. Huddersfield, I think, 7th in League 1. But it is Tamworth that lead there by a goal to 0 against a side Mike Duff's Huddersfield won 4 out of the last 5. High ball forward from Mo. It's just hooked it forward, giving his side something to chase. But Luton got there first. It's food and drink for them in the heart of the midfield. And Krause is given a shove on the back by the retreating Racic. And it's a free kick which will be taken as Clark, I beg your pardon, was fouled. And it's a free kick which will be taken about 15-18 yards outside the West Bromwich Albion penalty area.
It's funny, isn't it? You know, you're watching Luton Town here tonight and you're thinking, how on earth are they in the bottom 3 of the Championship? You know, the 2 up front, giving the 2 centre-halves lots of problems. Chong with a fitting around, not just staying as a number 10, but popping up on the left mainly, but sometimes on the right. And then you've got Tom Krause as well, who's just bossing things in midfield, up against the side that, you know, should be chasing top 2, if certainly top 6. Incredible.
Yeah, Albion go third if they win this. Moses sending a high ball inside the penalty area from that free kick. It was easily punched away, though, by Palmer. Maybe could have caught it. The punch falls for Taith Chong. Chong's got round his man. Left-footed ball sent inside the box. Styles there to head that away. Chested then down by Victor Moses. Mengi takes over 10 yards outside the penalty area. Hashioka on his right can deliver. A low cross which is stamped away by Racic. Now will be brought down by Hashioka. In fact, he's going to let it run out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Luton right-hand side. 9 to go to half-time. They're still 0-0. Hashioka throwing the ball forward into the feet of Tom Krause. A few fireworks going off overhead, only 4 days before the big night. Clark swings the ball out towards the Luton left. Victor Moses coming forward, trying to get himself into a shooting position. Holgate didn't allow that to happen. Furlong diligently follows Moses' run every step of the way. That's created space though for Jordan Clark. Ball played in, Furlong can knock it away. Brought down to the back by McGuinness. Played forward out towards Hashioka. Styles deals with that. Goes out for another Luton throw. But you can hear by the noises of encouragement from the Luton support that they feel as though something's beginning to build slowly here.
Yeah, look, they've been by far and away the better side of these 2 teams this evening. And, you know, I was coming here interested to feel how the fans would be, if they're just going to either sit back or be ready to jump on top of the players, because it's been a big drop from, much less than 12 months ago. But no, they stay behind them. And you're right, they're seeing a team giving absolutely everything, and they're trying to get behind them when they possibly can.
Rob Edwards touched on that in his programme notes actually tonight. He said that he did appreciate the fact that even after the Sunderland game where they'd lost, he felt as though the side played well, and he was delighted that the crowd clearly felt that they'd given everything that they had as well. There are some defeats that the manner of them is poor, but he didn't feel that was one of them, and he was glad that the crowd didn't either. Carlan Grant making his way forward here for the Albion, though, on the left-hand side of the box, and then just when he ran down a blind out, he stuck his arms out and pulled Krause to the ground, and that's going to be a free kick that Luton will be delighted just to waste a few seconds over before they take it. 7 to go to half-time here on TalkSport 2. Still 0-0, but still all Luton in terms of possession and territorial advantage and the half chances that are being created as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been so impressed by Tom Krause, though. We talked about how Barker and Lokonga go in, but not just when he's on the ball and the passes he's able to do, whether it's actually trying to put the strikers in or just knowing the right pass that then becomes the pass to put the strikers in, but he also helps his defence out like he did there.
Clark hooks one forward to the outside of the right boot. Moses chased after it. Furlong forced to play it. Now puts it out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Luton Town left-hand side. Moses taking it intelligently. Good run from Carlton Morris. Excellent player off the ball. And he's forced another throw with his industry. Moses is going to go out to take it. Just drops the ball short. At the feet of Amari Bell. Bell returning to the side tonight after injury. Chong is unsupple. Just pushing Darnell Furlong to the ground. Paul Furlong's son to the ground. And it's a free kick which will be taken away to our right-hand side by Alex Palmer. And everything back to normal, I'm delighted to say. All the medical staff have left the Albion contingent away to our right. The Albion fans are seemingly in good spirits again. Palmer taking this free kick and slicing it just straight out of play. And the main stand over on the far side for a throw that will be taken by Luton. Albion really yet to get going.
Sums them up a bit, really, doesn't it? That one bit of play. Simple thing to do, but not executed well, and that's West Brom so far. Under pressure defensively, not very creative going forwards, and West Madger not really had anything.
Oh, the service. Sorry, Scott. The referee has stopped play when Chong did brilliantly, being fouled just to skewer the ball down the left-hand touchline for Adebayo's run, and the referee says a foul. He's produced the yellow card for the challenge. And Furlong's in the book. But Luton would have loved the advantage to have been played there. It was a really good piece of play. I think it was Furlong's second challenge. It looked as though it was a foul by Ratchich to start with, but Furlong wired in from a long way out, and that's what the referee took exception to.
Well, Ratchich could have got a yellow card for pulling him back, but Furlong did get a yellow card for the foul he made in him.
Furlong's third caution of the season. He's the first player to have his name taken tonight. 4 minutes to go to half-time here on TalkSport 2, 0-0. In comes the free kick from Victor Moses, and it's comfortably claimed. And they have really missed Alfie Doughty in that kind of situation. Well, you shared that extraordinary stat earlier that he's taken, before tonight, all but 3 set pieces that Luton have had all season. So it's 98% of their set pieces Alfie Doughty has taken. And no disrespect to Victor Moses, who's had a wonderful career, Doughty's real dead-eye delivery has been lacking tonight.
Absolutely. I think you're spot on to bring that up. In terms of the set pieces for Luton, they have been lacking. And Alfie Doughty at the academy at Charlton, a brilliant place to go through to make your professional career, by the way, Jim. Charlton Athletic. He's done fantastically well to step up, and obviously Premier League player last season, but he is so important to them, not just in open play, but with those set pieces.
Palmer drives the ball forward here for West Brom. So easy for Hashioka. All he had to do was drop off. There was no Albion player within 15 yards of him, so it was really easy to get control. And West Brom as a cohesive attacking unit, just non-existent so far tonight. Corbrand's going to be deeply frustrated by this. But here they come now with Jed Wallace driving forward, and then Diangana with a left-footed shot, which I think is their first attempt of the night. And Kaminsky dived on it just to keep himself interested, not because he felt the need to save it.
Does that count as a shot? Would it have reached the line, do you think?
Well, it was,
I'm not even sure it was on target.
I'm sure it wasn't. It was a poor effort from Grady Diangana, and he's a man that Albion haven't been able to get into the game. I wonder whether Corbrand will be contemplating making changes, whether we might see the likes of Swift or Johnston or maybe even Dobbin in the second half. Not seeing an awful lot of Lewis Dobbin as an Albion player so far, but maybe Swift and Johnston will be getting the nod to come on sooner rather than later. Fellows as well, waiting in the wings.
Yeah, that's who I would be thinking of, and I want to see his career blossom. He's a big talent, but you're absolutely right. We make a joke of it, but it's not funny if you're Carlos Corberán or West Brom fan. It's not been good enough going forward.
Hashioka. And to Chong to Victor Moses, who just stretched out a right foot to be able to keep the ball in. Plays it back for Chong. Low ball fizzed in towards the near post. Who got the last touch on that? Adebayo. And it's the goal kick. And Mason Holgate making the run across him at the near post. And Adebayo thought that Holgate had got the last touch, but a goal kick has been given as we prepare to go into the last minute of the first half. And Palmer just wasting a few seconds, then actually restarting play more quickly than he might have done. Just siphoning it outside the penalty area for Holgate. Holgate will drive it forward, left-footed, and straight out of play. Pass completion rate from West Brom will be really poor in this first 45. I haven't seen an awful lot of the Albion in the flesh this season. I've seen a couple of their games on telly, but this is the worst that I've seen them. Here's Mengi. Mengi will be able to get it forward here for Luton. Flights it out towards the left-hand side. Victor Moses can bring it down. Chong's making a good run ahead of him, but not there. It was just played forward at the wrong angle by Victor Moses and goes straight through for Alex Palmer.
Yeah, again, I mean, Victor Moses is having a bit of a go at Chong, but whether he thought he should have been there, he wasn't. So don't play it there. You can't force someone to be there if they're not making that run in the first place. But you're right about Albion. I mean, I did their game at Fratton Park earlier in the season. I thought they were superb, defensively solid. They could have played another 90 minutes and wouldn't have conceded. I think they could have scored plenty more than what they did in that particular game. And I thought, wow, we've got a West Brom side that actually could really be chasing top two. And since then, almost, it's not really been good enough. Certainly going forward, anyway. And I think he's got the players. He has got the players. He's got to try and find the blend and somehow to get the best out of them individually and collectively as well, because I genuinely believe West Brom can fight for the top two this season.
They seem at the moment to be playing like a side who are really devoid of confidence, as though this run that they're on, 6 without a win, has hit them. I mean, they've drawn the last 4. It's not as if they're losing week in, week out. But you wouldn't look at the two sides playing tonight as we go into 5 minutes of added time and think that Luton are the team that have lost 2 on the bounce.
No, and look, Luton are not a bottom 3 side of the Championship. They're not, and they're starting to show, well, certainly tonight anyway, that this is not a side that should be in the bottom 3. This is a side, in their terms of their performance this evening, you know, they could be chasing top 6. They're a long way from it at the moment. It's crazy, isn't it? They're in the bottom 3, and yet you can also try and say they're 8 points off the playoffs. Which again, as we know with the Championship, within a week you can get 9 points out of 9 and things suddenly change. A lot of teams to jump up above. That's a long way to look ahead. But this is my point is, Luton, the way they're playing this evening, are not a bottom 3 side. This is a tough place to come this evening.
A long way to go. 33 and a half games left in this season. 3.5 minutes, the first half stoppage time remain. And a free kick is going to be taken by Luton on halfway. Mengi will stand over it, and he just clips it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. They stop Morris getting a run towards the second ball, won by Kraus. Kraus tries to drive it in. It wasn't a shot really. He was hoping that somebody was going to make a run round the back of Holgate, but it's just gone straight out of play for a goal kick which will be taken by Alex Palmer. I think the biggest positive for Carlos Corberán so far is that it's 0-0 and that it's not worse, that his side is still in it, because he knows that they will play much better in the second half. They can't play as badly as this again.
You wouldn't have thought so, and I mean, I would not be surprised if the change is made at half-time. Maximum, you give them 10 minutes. This cannot go on, because if it does light in the second half, you would feel that Luton would somehow get a goal, especially with the front two looking as if they're getting back to how they were maybe a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I do feel he's got to make changes. This can't go on like this, otherwise Albion will come away with nothing tonight.
Those thoughts of Scott Minto, vastly experienced at Premier League and Championship level in his career. Throw to be taken over on the Albion right-hand side by Furlong. He's got a long throw. We haven't seen any opportunities really for him to launch a long one inside the penalty area as yet until now. Luton have got everybody back inside their penalty area for this. There's a run from Mowat towards the ball. Nobody was fooled. It's coming in long. Furlong towards the penalty spot. Morris is there to repan it. Goes straight back out for Furlong, but in a deeper position. He can clip it in right-footed. Mengi just mistimes his jump. Might fall for Grant. On the edge of the penalty area. Takes a touch, takes a second. Gets it inside the 6-yard box. And Madja has backheeled it in on the turn. Smash and grab of the highest order, but West Bromwich Albion lead by a goal to nil. The shot when it came in barely had the legs to get over the line, but such was its accuracy that Luton couldn't keep it out. And West Brom's first incisive forward move of the game gives them a half-time lead.
Wow, where on earth did that come from? Oh, we just talked about Albion, how poor they've been in the first half. Smash and grab is exactly what's happened in this first half. The ball was just played into the box. It was a wonderful touch from Josh Madja. He's played it out to Carlon Grant, and then he's not even really sort of gone in between the two sticks of the goal. But when the ball's played back to him, it's behind him. It's not played with a great deal of force, and yet he's done the most wonderful of flicks that has actually ended up coming across the goal, giving Kaminsky no chance whatsoever, and sneaking into the inside of the side netting. Well, did not see that coming.
Well, Josh Madja has scored 8 now of Albion's 13 league goals this season. He scored on his only previous visit here, which was back in 2018, and with such a clever goal. He's given West Bromwich Albion the lead. Seconds left in this first half. Clark playing it back out to the Luton left. They're midway inside the Albion half again. Moses trying to check away from Furlong. And Diangana comes back, and between them they've won it back. Diangana taking it down towards the dead ball line, buys the goal kick off Chong. And I think when Palmer takes it, that'll be the end of the first half. Such a clever goal though. First of all, the touch. Then a good ball in from Carlon Grant, but just the reading of the situation, because he's got nothing really that he could do. He got a defender behind him. The ball just lets the ball run almost behind him, and he flicks as he swivels with almost the Achilles of his left foot, and just diverts it behind his standing leg, and completely wrong foots everybody, and it trickles over the line. West Bromwich Albion fans applaud away to our right-hand side as the half-time whistle goes, and there are some isolated boos emanating around Kenilworth Road after one of Luton's better performances of the season so far. But listen, it's the results business. At half-time, it's Luton 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Well, confirmation of the change, Hugh, and it is Shandon Baptiste coming on for Victor Moses for the second half for Luton. So they're going to have to shuffle things around a little bit, you would imagine. I can't see that Baptiste is going to be playing as a conventional left winger in the way that Victor Moses did in the first half. No changes, though, for Albion at this point. West Brom leading 1-0, courtesy of that goal from Josh Madja. The 4th minute, the first half stoppage time, only the second goal that West Brom have scored in 501 minutes. Elsewhere, Notts County 3, Alfreton 1. Alassana Jatta has scored twice in the second half. And the County trailed in that game at one stage, up to 9 for the season now, County's leading scorer. As we get back underway, Luton swinging a high ball forward straight away, trying to get Morris in, and it's knocked away. It's Taif Chong that has come out to the left-hand side now for Luton. Baptiste in the centre of midfield has lost out. Diangana will play it down towards Furlong. So Furlong has got Chong up against him here. He plays it back instead towards Holgate. And Holgate inside his own penalty area for Palmer. Now out towards Mowat. And Torbjörn Hagen will play it out towards the left-hand side for Callum Stiles. Trying to find a way past Krause and can't. There's an angry reaction from Krause after the free kick went against him. He just beat the ball in the ground in frustration. Albion get the free kick. Mowat working it back towards Holgate. Holgate just side foots it forward, easily read by Chong. Can't get on the end of the return ball from Adebayo, but Amari Bell will take over. Loose ball breaks Clark's way, clipped in right footed. Oh, just past Carlton Morris. Just got caught in two minds, I think, whether to go for the header or try and bring the ball down. In the end, he didn't get a touch on it at all. And he goes out of play for a goal kick. 1-0 West Brom.
There's been a really positive start, though, from Luton on the front foot. And as Jordan Clark picks up the ball, I'm just wondering whether he was thinking to have a shot here. He's probably just a little bit too far out. And he's tried to play a diagonal little dink towards Carlton Morris. He's run unlucky.
There's an equalising goal for Huddersfield at Tamworth. 1-1 the scoreline there. Chris Maxwell with an own goal in first half. A stoppage zone towards the end of the first half. Huddersfield back on level terms in that cup tie. Tamworth 1, Huddersfield 1. Luton bring the ball forward again inside the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, but it's knocked away. Clark trying to win it back. McGuinness has been able to win it back. Out towards Hashioka. Hashioka taking on Callum Stiles, fires it very deep, and it's just bounced actually on the dead ball line. Everybody gave it up, thinking it was going to be a goal kick. Bounced on the dead ball line, came back into play. Chong then has shoved Furlong over, and it's a free kick which will be taken by West Brom. Incidentally, Sporting Lisbon still under Ruben Amorim at the moment, playing tonight. Victor Gyökeres, the former Brighton striker, has been talked about as being a target for Manchester United. First half hat-trick for him tonight. He's up to 19 for the season already. And Sporting 3-1 up. Coming up at half-time in their league game tonight under Amorim, who will take over at Old Trafford on November the 11th.
It's going to be a very interesting game on Tuesday, isn't it? Sporting against Manchester City.
That Huddersfield goal at Tamworth, incidentally, has been chalked off. So it's still Tamworth 1, Huddersfield 0. Chong trying to win the ball back in the midfield. Racic can take control of the situation, though, for the Albion. Out from Wallace towards Grady Diangana. Diangana taking on Bell. A dynamic run inside the penalty area. I don't think we saw him do that once in the first half. He's trying to take on his man and has won an Albion corner, which is their first of this second period. Mowatt's going to go across the taking.
Yeah, I think it's important for Albion to make sure. We knew that Luton would come at them, and obviously if they can score the second goal, that would be utopia, but make sure that they try and keep the ball camped in Luton's half as much as possible. And again, talked about the boos. I didn't feel it was, I mean, there were boos, but I think I said it last time, wasn't proper booing, as if that makes sense. It was just a disappointment of what the result was. So it's down to Albion to take advantage of this while they're 1-0 up.
So the referee just asking Mowat to wait. The assistant referee makes his way away for the corner quadrant, leaving Mowat's path towards the ball unimpeded. Swings it inside the penalty area, just a little ricochet. Then a shot comes in from distance from Carlin Grant. That was blocked. Back out for Mowat. Left-footed ball, lovely shape on that, swinging in towards the far post. Luton deal with it. Oh, Chong's done really well, getting around Mowat's challenge in the midfield, bringing it away. Backheels it into the path of Adebayo. West Brom got bodies back quickly. It took an age for Luton's cavalry to arrive, but they're forward now. Hashioka driving it in off Diangana. And a play for the Luton corner.
Brilliant. Listen to the crowd now. Very appreciative of that counter-attack started by Chong. Adebayo clever playing it inside. Went out to the right. And you're right, Albion got back very, very quickly indeed, but it won't take much to get these fans back on side again.
Shandon Baptiste to go across to take the corner. Hashioka waiting inside the 6-yard box. Clark is right in front of the goalkeeper. McGuinness making his way in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It was cleared away from him by Madger. Comes out towards Kraus. Kraus feeding it wide. Racic missing a defensive header. Then a handball shout inside the penalty area. Mowat thrashes it clear. And Kaminsky's much nearer the halfway line than the edge of his own penalty area as he comes out to sweep up. And he's just passed it from there all the way back to Alex Palmer, the Albion goalkeeper at the other end. Yeah. So still 1-0 to West Brom.
Sorry, Jim. Jed Wallace did well there. He put Kaminsky under pressure where he didn't need to. And in the end, Kaminsky just panicked a little bit and hit it as long as he possibly could and gave the ball away. Need to make sure that Luton keep up this pressure. He's very clever at the back. Obviously don't mess with it, but he didn't need to knock it long in the way that he did there, Kaminsky.
Callum Stiles to take a throw here for West Brom. Throw for Hashioka will West Brom a second down, 2nd and 2 over on that far touchline, and made a few yards forward. Now in Luton territory. Racic hooking the throw forward. Mengi heads it away. And almost went out again. Just kept in by Mowat. Played forward down the left-hand touchline. Wallace trying to get the better of Hashioka. Can't do so. It's fouled him. And it's a free kick which will be taken over on the Luton right-hand side. Thrilling climax of the Irish League season, incidentally, tonight. Final games of the campaign. Damien Duff's Shelbourne hoping to win the title, going into the final games top. But if Shamrock beat Waterford, Shelbourne have got to win away to Derry City. And with 20 minutes to go, Shamrock are winning. Shelbourne are being held 0-0. So Shamrock Rovers will be the Irish champions if it stays that way. 20 minutes to go there. Coming together in the midfield, McGuinness. Getting the better of Madja. Luton hoist another high ball forward, and Furlong retreating, just calmly cushions the header back for Palmer.
Great defending. I mean, you say he got the better of Madja. He kind of pushed him over. It's a definite foul. Wasn't given. But then Luton put the ball in the box, tried to put Albion under pressure, but that was brilliant defending from Furlong. It really was.
Palmer goes long again. Bell volleys it back. Holgate sold his goalkeeper a little bit short, and he scuffed it back towards the edge of the penalty area. And Morris couldn't get there in time from a Luton perspective, and Palmer clears it. Hashioka has been beaten. Albion bring it forward. Madge has done well. The goal scorer winning a free kick in a really good area, because this is left of centre, and it's about 8 yards outside the penalty area. Madge got straight back to his feet. Now he's gone down again. Well, this is a really good chance for the likes of Mowat or Racic, who are standing over this, and Wallace is another interested party. Madge back on his feet, making his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Luton lining up a 4-man wall, but there's an angle here for a right footer.
Yeah, I mean, Dean Whitestone, the referee, has let a lot of things go. And considering some of the tackles that have come in, I think Madge bought that one, but one, it's a great opportunity to score that second goal, and two, just the seconds keep ticking along and making sure that Luton can't score themselves.
Wallace has departed the scene. Racic is looking favourite. It could potentially be Mowat with his left foot over the top of the wall, but everything is pointing towards this being Racic's hit. Luton's 4-man wall right on the edge of the box. Racic addressing the ball. Comes up, hits it right-footed, good strike, but didn't get the power. He got the angle, got it over the wall. The dip was fine, but he didn't get the power that he needed. Kaminsky could hurriedly trot across his line and make a comfortable save. He bowls it out quickly for Hashioka. He's fouled, and that's a yellow card for Callum Stiles for the challenge.
Yeah, first of all, on the free kick, it's actually a really good free kick, but you're right, he didn't get enough pace. It looked like it was going up and over the wall and into the corner, and Kaminsky just read it really well, made it look as if it was a very simple save, but it wasn't a bad free kick at all. And then again, I just feel the referee has let a lot of things go this evening, and he should have let Luton have the advantage. McGuinness
sending a ball forward, flicked on by Hashioka, gets it back again, rolls it in the right-hand side of the penalty area. Krause's cross is blocked, brought down by Hashioka. Playing it right back in a 4-4-2 for Luton today. Racic sends a high ball hoisted forward. Edge return with a little bit of interest. Krause flicking it out towards the right. Hashioka chasing after it. He's never going to get to that before Kyle and Grant. As well defended by Grant. Struck the shoulder, looked as though he's going to play it. Just sowed a seed of doubt in Hashioka's mind. That was all it took to be able to shepherd the ball over the line for a goal kick. We played 10 minutes of the second half. West Brom's lead not looking fragile at the moment.
No, they look pretty comfortable after what was initially a very good start to the second half from Luton. But you know, if Albion are to come away with all 3 points, you're going to need your forward players to defend and help out in the way that Carl Grant did just there.
Luton are going to make a double change. And we're talking about the way that Jacob Brown was warming up quite extensively during the half-time interval. He's going to be coming on, and Liam Walsh, the central midfielder that they signed from Swansea over the summer, is also going to be coming on. So the first player off is Adebayo. Brown on for him, and he'll go up top in conjunction with Carlton Morris. And the other change is Krause coming off, which is a surprise. So Walsh for Krause.
Yeah, I like Krause a lot. Luton fans clearly not happy with that substitution. I think he's a class player, and when you're looking to try and open up a defence, I think he is one of those players. Perhaps not had his best game tonight, but he still looked pretty decent to me.
Wallace battling, enjoying the physical element of the game alongside Amari Bell. Ball goes through towards Kaminsky, and he drives it forward. Hashioka turning it round the corner, easily read by Hegem, stepping forward from centre half. Styles goes back for Mowat, the defensive midfield shield for West Bromwich Albion. They've only conceded twice in the last 5.5 games. 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion wouldn't be the most surprising scoreline, or wouldn't have been at the start of the night. But the way that we've got to this point has not necessarily been the route that many anticipated. A lot of Luton pressure in the first half without really creating too many opportunities. Next to nothing from Albion until a moment of individual brilliance and instinctive finish from Josh Madger. Albion in control now, defending this 1-0 lead. Ratchich, Baptiste claiming he got caught in the face. Ratchich plays it forward, too long ahead of Wallace. Out comes Kuminski, mops up, finds Mengi. Mengi sending one forward. Brown chasing after it, but Furlong again, just a wise old head, kept an eye on him every step of the way, and turns a cushion header back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be in the fullback union here. You know, he easily, Donald Furlong could have just headed it back into play or headed it out for a throw-in. It's the second time now that he's been cool, calm, composed, showing his experience. With the ball coming in, high ball, not only is he winning it, but he's also making sure his team has possession by heading it back to his goalkeeper. Brilliant fullback play.
Brown chases after the latest long ball forward, and it beats him and goes out. The Scottish international's only started the one game for Luton so far this season. He scored against Watford. Liam Walsh, who's come on with him, has got a couple of starts, came off the bench against Oxford and was sent off within seconds in that game. Now Clark getting involved over on the far touchline, the Luton number 18 with Styles. As though he'd fouled him. The referee's played the advantage, and the Hungarian left back will play the ball back to Mason Holgate. Styles has seen a lot of his career football in central midfield, playing left back tonight. Now Albion have won it back. It's Chong, and it is 1-1. And it's a mistake from Darnell Furlong. Chong running onto it, and all of a sudden it opened up. He could make his way forward, drive inside the penalty area, and he just passes the ball past Palmer into the bottom right-hand corner. We get to the hour mark, and the teams are level again. Luton 1, West Brom 1.
Brilliant from Chong. I mean, first of all, it was a bad pass to Furlong, but you're right, if you're not going to be able to make it, you don't dive in like that. But great skill from Chong, just letting the ball run across him, letting Furlong make that dive in, and then suddenly he's through on goal. Well, not quite through on goal. And about where he has the shot, there's such a tight angle. We've got a great angle from where we're standing here, and I'm actually thinking to myself, no, don't shoot from there. You've got a player inside. Find a way to pass it. But that was a wonder strike. It really was, giving Palmer no chance.
Celebrating his 50th Luton Town game with goal number 7 for the club. It's his first in 10 games since the opening day of the season. Luton back on level terms, 1-1 with half an hour to go.
Game on now.
There's just been an incident down on the touchline with Chong and Furlong, the two players involved in that again. Our position sort of hangs over the touchline. It's difficult to see everything that happens right down on the touchline itself. Just a little coming together, I think, a push by Chong on Furlong, and there's no runoff here. It's a very tight, compact arena, as I know you know, and Furlong had nowhere to go.
No, not only did he have nowhere to go once he had that push, but he fell over and his head went into the water cooler. That's what he was complaining about.
He's okay. About able to continue. Probably over the whole piece, 1-1's a fair reflection of what we've seen. Luton might feel that they deserve to be ahead, but they certainly don't deserve to be behind.
They definitely don't deserve to be behind. You know, we've mentioned a couple of times how, despite that initial first couple of minutes of the second half, Luton started well. Actually, West Brom have been reasonably in control, but absolutely over the whole game so far, Luton do not deserve to be behind.
If it stays this way, they'll be out of the bottom four. Albion would stay fifth. They go third if they win. Here's Jed Wallace pulling it back inside the Luton penalty area, and the retreating Hashioka has come across the sweep up, and then Morris with the angriest of reactions. He might have talked himself into the book. We'll find out in a moment, because play's still going on. He was sure that he was pushed, and he might have had a case as well. But he threw his arm down across his body right in front of the fourth official to complain about the lack of decision going his way. Now there's a skirmish going on near the edge of the penalty area, and Luton have won a free kick with players from both sides down on the ground, and Morris is still at it and still having a right moan at the fourth official, Andy Davis, going across and asking why a decision wasn't given.
Really not happy. What he did well was he calmed himself down within a few seconds, because he was chasing the ball and they were passing it around, and I was thinking, just don't get too tight and make some silly challenge that could end up in being a yellow, perhaps even a red card. And yeah, the red mist just quickly just went, but he was not happy at all.
27 to go, 1-1 the score. Albion make a double change. Fellows on for Wallace. That's the first change. The second one's going to see Devante Cole come on. Who's he replacing? Diangana. So Cole for Diangana and Fellows for Wallace, as West Brom try and get themselves back ahead again.
I think clearly Carlos Corberán is worried about the way that goal and the tide, the atmosphere has suddenly just completely turned. And again, we talked about in the first half, if they carry on doing the same thing, they won't win this game. And there's every chance that could happen now as well, so he's trying to change it somehow with making those substitutions.
The ball has sailed over Ratch's head from a long run that's played forward, and it hit the hand of Styles inside the penalty area. It is accidental. He's made no attempt to play it. His arm is down by his side in a natural position. Is it? No, it's not actually. His arm is out, but the ball has come in from behind him. He's doing his best to defend. He's not deliberately played it. He's gained an advantage by the ball hitting his arm in that position.
I tell you what, if we are in the Premier League, I think VAR would overturn that. I mean, first of all, he got pushed, but the way then he just brought his arm out, it was outside, it seemed unnatural.
It is a corner to Luton instead. Swung in, headed away by Cole. Outside the penalty area for Walsh. Blocked by Cole on the edge of the box. Then headed on towards Mengi by Chong, the Luton goal scorer. Albion get that one away towards halfway. Picked up by Amari Bell. West Brom have only dropped 2 points all season from being 1-0 up. That was against Oxford. They've got their work cut out here at the moment. Luton trying to build up a head of steam, but Albion potentially dangerous on the counter-attack. And Madge's got it forward here inside the penalty area for Grant. Sliding in, McGuinness blocks the cross at the near post, and Bell hooks it clear for a throw.
Right, so just trying to describe it again. The ball was played over the top. Jacobs Brown has pushed into Callum Styles, which if his arm had come out immediately then and it had hit him, I would have understood. But it's almost gone over, and as he's turning around Styles, he's then put his arm out, and the ball has hit his hand. I definitely think if VAR were involved, it would have been overturned.
No VAR, of course, in the Championship. Dean Whitestone, the referee. Though you can understand just why the Luton penalty appeals were as vociferous as they were. The other end, a long furlong throw inside the Luton box, headed away by Morris. Now towards halfway. Mowat picking it up. Play back towards Styles. High ball forward from him. Furlong with a good looping header inside the penalty area. Everyone coming to attack it. Oh, goalkeeper hesitating for a moment. He's pulled back to the edge of the area. Right footed through a crowd of players. It's blocked. It was a shot from Holgate that might actually have hit Devante Cole. Cleared again. Holgate goes up for it. Chong and Brown might be able to bring it away on the counter-attack. Now Baptiste will take over. And Luton bring it forward towards halfway. Albion was 6 back behind the ball. But a long ball forward takes out most of them. Furlong retreating with another good defensive header. Steers it away from Brown. How to play for a Luton throw. Good game now.
The game is hotting up nicely, isn't it? End to end. It looked like West Brom were going to get the goal there. But no, Luton come back down the other end. And again, the fans are really trying to get behind the home side now.
Throw which will be taken on the Luton left-hand side by Chong. Chong to Baptiste. And the back for Tafe. Chong again, taking on Fellows and winning the corner. Then whipping up the crowd. Not going to be a cup shock at Meadow Lane tonight. Giovanni Brown has scored. Notts County 4, Alfreton 1. And Shelbourne have just taken the lead 5 minutes from time in that game at Derry City. And that will be enough for them to be champions of Ireland. In comes the corner towards the near post, and it's headed away. It's been an extraordinary campaign. Just one footnote to Shelbourne potentially winning the league. That's only their 40th goal of the season in 36 games, and they're going to win the title with it. 40 goals in 36 games.
That's incredible.
In comes the corner. It's a looping one towards the far post. The Palmer did have it covered. Few oohs and ahs from the crowd. And it's just curled onto the roof of the net from Baptiste. There's a goal kick which will be taken by Palmer. We're exactly midway through the second half here. Scott Minto set up beautifully now at 1-1.
It is. And look, I mean, all three results possible here. But I would actually hazard a guess the way that Luton are really coming at Albion. They feel they can win. We know that Albion can be dangerous. They very nearly scored themselves just a few minutes ago. And if another goal is going to come at this moment in time, it looks like it's going to come from Luton.
Albion's next game is at home to Burnley. That's on Thursday night, and it is on TalkSport 2. We welcome listeners on TalkSport to Kenilworth Road, where we're just past the midway stage of the second half. It's 1-1 between Luton and West Bromwich Albion. All Luton in the first half without creating an awful lot. Josh Madge's very clever backheel flick gave Albion the lead in first half stoppage time, very much against the run of play. They then looked as though they were in control, but Darnell Furlong was sold short by a poor pass. He committed himself. Tafe Chong won the ball back cheaply and finished superbly to get Luton back on level terms. That was on the hour mark. Big appeals for a penalty against the handball for Callum Stiles. That wasn't given. And Scott Minto, it's 1-1 with just over 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I think Luton have been the better side over the two. Certainly they were in the first half. You know, we mentioned the word smash and grab with that goal right on half-time from Josh Madge, but it was a wonderful flick, it really was. Don't you will ever get tired of watching it. And Luton, to be fair to them, came out in the second half. Then West Brom looked as if they were in control. I definitely believe that Luton deserve to be at least drawing.
Well, they got it on the left-hand side of the penalty area here. Albion, low-driven cross from Ratchich. Ball had actually just gone out of play. It is a goal kick to Luton. If you've got the TalkSport app, you can easily keep abreast with everything that goes on in the final 20 minutes here. If it stays this way, Luton will be back out of the bottom four. They'll be up to 20th. West Brom would stay 5th and miss the opportunity to go into the top 3. A win will take them into the leading trail. Commentary continues on TalkSport 2. 20 to go. Luton 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Ashioka flicked on by Morris, headed away, but he brought down by a left-footed shot from Jacob Brown, and on the turn he swiveled, hit it far too strongly, and it sailed over the bar as a result.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where you have to just wait for it to come down, or don't shoot at all, and just hold the ball up and see who you can pass it to. But yeah, I mean, I'm sort of thinking about what you were saying about where Luton are. They'll get out the bottom 3, but of course they're playing the Friday night game here. That won't really do them many favours. They could easily find themselves at the end of the weekend back in it again. And West Brom, really they could do with 3 points to keep pressure on that top 2 if they are trying to get into the top 2. So a draw doesn't really help either. And I could imagine both, certainly the home side anyway, really trying to go for the winner.
Walsh with a lovely little nutmeg of Ratchich. Baptiste can get inside the area. Morris turning it down. Mowat trying to dig it clear from inside the box. He can't. It's set up for Morris. Morris working wide. Hashioka clipping it in. Headed back by Baptiste. Headed away by Hagen from inside the 6-yard box. Luton knocking on the door here. 1-1 the score. Mengi sends the ball inside the penalty area. Brown goes up for it. Might have fallen Chong's way on the edge of the box. I think he got a slight misread on it. Holgate knocks it away. Madger will chase it upfield. Mengi is there to sweep up, and he's done more than that. Gets it in, gets it back towards the edge of the Albion penalty area again. Palmer comes down, drives it forward. Mengi picks it up. Now Shandon Baptiste, the former Brentford man, in the midfield. Square to his right-hand side for the dark-haired, thick-set Walsh. Now down towards Samari Bell. Home crowd are beginning to believe. The volume is ratcheted up a couple of notches here on TalkSport 2. Luton 1, West Bromwich Albion 1 remaining the score, with Walsh back in possession again.
Just want to mention Teddy Mengi, and just a couple of instances there. He made sure defended really well and played a good ball down the line, and then when the ball was played back, he brought it down, played it into midfield. He makes such a difference when he plays for Luton. He really does. I think he's a really good defender, but he's also comfortable on the ball.
Notts County 5, Alfreton 1. But Tamworth lead Huddersfield 1-0 going into the stoppage time at the end of the game there. Tamworth 1, Huddersfield 0. The first shock of FA Cup first round weekend is imminent, seemingly. Morris trying to find a way through, claiming a penalty. Might have been given a corner, ends up getting nothing. It's a goal kick. And Hegeman Stars between them just about did enough to stop Carlton Morris. Goal kick which will be taken by Palmer. And he talked about the importance of the week coming up. West Brom at home to Burnley Thursday nights, live here on TalkSport 2. Burnley in action between now and then. They're at Millwall, live on TalkSport 2 Sunday afternoon at 3, following the Sutton Birmingham FA Cup tie. Luton's week, Cardiff midweek here, which is a monumental game. Then they go to Middlesbrough, then they have Hull here, then they go to Leeds, then they go to Norwich, and that's a horrible run. Going to know a lot more about Luton in 3-4 weeks' time than we do now.
You do know you could have carried on December to January to February and still said that's a horrible run.
Oh, it's always a horrible run in the Championship. I know exactly what you're saying, but it's a horrible work. Capital H. Chance for Hashioka to deliver here, and he's not taken the opportunity because he's sliced across from a good position straight behind Palmer's goal. Then there's an immediate inquest between Holgate and the assistant referee over on the far touchline, Christo Karavanov, complaining that the offside flag didn't come up. Albion will use the ball going out of play as a cue to make another double change, and Jason Malumbi is going to be coming on, and Mikey Johnston will come on as well. So Malumbi replaces Racic in the heart of the midfield, and Madger's off, Johnston on for him. Changes 3 and 4 made with 16 minutes to go for West Brom. Luton have still got 2 changes left at their disposal.
Yeah, again, I think it's about just trying to change it up. That Carlos Corberan knows that they've been very much under pressure, really, from the word go. At times they've looked comfortable, but if they can come away with a point, we talked about how really a point doesn't do Albion great favours in terms of looking above them, but if you actually just analyse this game, I think they'd more than be happy with the point.
Well, the last time that two sides met here, Luton were 2 up inside 10 minutes and lost. Jason Malumbi scored one of the Albion goals that day, so he's now on. Here's Chon, scorer of the equaliser for the Hatters. Back through the midfield, Johnston's given it away. Poor first touch from him, Jacob Brown. Luton substitute rolling it in, setting it up, Baptiste. Now played forward by Walsh. Chong, opportunity to run at Fellows. Oh, he's turned inside. Chong going for goal. Oh, he took a little touch of Holgate on the way through. The reaction save from Palmer. West Brom hack it clear to safety. Luton bring it forward again. 15 to go. It's 1-1. Luton looking the more likely, but it won't come from this phase of players. McGuinness chips one over the top, and it's far too long for the runner Clark, and goes straight through to the goalkeeper. 1-1, 15 to go here on TalkSport 2.
That's a brilliant save. That is an absolutely brilliant save from Alex Palmer, because he's seen it late. As Chong comes inside, this time onto his right foot, he still strikes it well, but it goes through a couple of players. So he's had to dive to his left, Palmer. It's going in. And for him to get down so quickly, so late, a wonder save.
Only conceded once in the last 5 games, Alex Palmer, who had 6 loan spells away from the Hawthorns before he became first choice goalkeeper at the club. Here's Styles on his full debut for the Baggies tonight, guarding it back for the aforementioned Palmer. who controls the ball with his right foot, stops it, and then waves everybody upfield before driving long. McGuinness heads it away, but Malumbi picks it up in the Albion midfield and finds Mowat. Mowat goes out towards Callum Styles. 14 to go, 1-1 on TalkSport 2. Live Premier League action coming your way tomorrow. Newcastle Arsenal, 12:30 at St James's Park. The build-up starting at 11 on game day exclusive. And as always on a Saturday, it's the first half of the double bill. The change being that Bournemouth Man City is on TalkSport, not TalkSport 2 tomorrow afternoon. So that's Newcastle and Arsenal, 12:30 on TalkSport, followed on TalkSport by Bournemouth Manchester City. And the slight change of plan from the norm is because we've got one-day international action in Antigua, and the second ODI between the West Indies and England starts at 1:30 with our coverage at 1 o'clock, and that is here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow lunchtime. Here and now, 13 to go here at Kenilworth Road. Luton looking for a winner, ball headed on, Holgate gets it away. Styles with a high up and under, Morris comes to meet it. He and Brown take each other out, both have a little laugh about it. Play goes on though, Hashioka knocking it forward. Baptiste tries to roll him in inside the area. Styles almost a last ditch interception, can get it away. Kaminsky goes right out of his penalty area to the right hand touchline near the halfway line to sweep up and try and get Luton forward quickly. McGuinness with the feet of Mengi back for the goalkeeper Kaminsky. The Belgian drives it forward, but sometimes those Route 1 balls from the back have lacked the necessary accuracy, and it's just a pass from one goalkeeper to the other.
But if you're just going to, there's nothing wrong with going long, but if you're just going to ping it as hard as you possibly can, then clearly the forwards can't do anything with it. You know, put a little bit of height in it, drop it in, so the defenders have to come over the top of the attackers, and they can either use their strength or get the touch and win a free kick and suddenly play from there.
12 to go. Luton 1, West Brom 1. Bell headed on, but away from Brown and straight through to the goalkeeper. As you mentioned, this will be a scoreline that wouldn't favour either team really, but it's Luton that are showing the more attacking intent to try and turn 1 point into 3. Furlong clearance hits Chon, ricochets towards the edge of the box. Baptiste in far too strongly on Malumbi, has fouled him. Tamworth have knocked Huddersfield out of the FA Cup. So the first shock of FA Cup first round weekend comes at the Lamb Ground. Tamworth 1, Huddersfield 0. And there's 57 places between those two in the league structure, but Tamworth have overcome that tonight. Well, that's a big win for them. One of the great days of their history, beating Huddersfield 1-0. Our live FA Cup action for you is on Sunday. Sutton against Birmingham. We've got the FA Cup covered as we have everything else here on TalkSport. That's 12:30 kickoff on TalkSport 2 on Sunday. The ball out of play. Throw will be taken by Furlong on the Albion right-hand side as we approach the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, that is incredible. And that's why we love the FA Cup, isn't it? Shocks already in the first round. Huddersfield are the teams that's in the first round, one of the big boys. Brilliant to see. Well, not if you're a Huddersfield fan, of course.
Of course. Ball play forward by Walsh. In towards Morris. He got caught by Holgate. And it's a free kick to Luton. Shelbourne on the verge of becoming the Irish champions. Shamrock Rovers have won their game tonight. Shelbourne have to hang on to that 1-0 lead away to Derry City. They played 7 minutes of stoppage time. They're still 1-0 up. They're seconds away, Damien Duff's men, from being crowned champions. Bell on the halfway line for Luton. Played forward. Bell ends up on the deck. Face down on the deck. Passed the ball in towards Brown. Worked out towards the right-hand side. Shelbourne have won that game and are the champions. Congratulations to them. Ball down towards Sahith Chong on the Luton left, controlling it. Now an opportunity for him to run at Furlong. Play back towards Baptiste. Oh, Chong gets it back after a touch from Cole. Gets a shot in on the turn, which hits Furlong. Arms behind his back, down on one knee, making his body as big as he could legitimately and affecting the block. And Luton take a throw quickly. Goes out from the left-hand side, quickly out towards the right. Hashioka will bring it forward. Clipped inside the penalty area. Holgate heads it away. Then Johnston out to the far touchline. Hoofed high up in the air by Grant. Headed back by McGuinness. And mounted at the back for Luton Town. He's only found Styles near the edge of his own penalty area. Mowat turns it forward. A little bit of space in the midfield. Johnston riding the first challenge. Works it out towards the right. Here's Tom Fellows in the 100th senior game of his career. Forced away by Chong. Plays it back behind square for Mowat. Mowat to his left for Styles. We've got 9 to go at 1-1 here on TalkSport 2. Styles will continue his run down the left. Ball is with Carlin Grant. Former Huddersfield man lays it off for Mikey Johnston, the player that Albion had on loan from Celtic last year. He made his deal permanent over the summer. He's got it again here, the jinky winger towards the edge of the penalty area onto his right foot. A low skidder, just wide of the near post, but Kaminsky had it covered.
I tell you what, that would have been a great goal, not just because he's shooting from outside the box and beating the goalkeeper, but that must have been a lot of passes from back to front, from right to left, showing patience, 1-2 touch, a little bit of running with it. He had everything, but didn't have the goal.
8 to go at 1 apiece. Ball brought down in the heart of the midfield by West Brom's Jason Malumbi. Now driven forward. Devante Cole's retreated, but from an offside position. Passes it straight to a Luton player anyway. And the Hatters, after a moment's hesitation, are able to bring it forward. Carlton Morris. Morris checking back, gets to the corner of the penalty area, stands up across looking for Brown. It's clear. Comes out for Walsh, and his rising drive ends up halfway back the Kenny Road stand, away to our left. Had a play for a goal kick.
Well, that would have been a great goal as well. I have to say, good play from Carlton Morris on the right-hand side coming in. He's whipped a really good ball in, well defended, headed out, but Walsh made sure he got there first. That's a good strike as well on his left foot. He's just over, not quite able, getting the power, but not quite able to get the precision.
He's still waiting for his first goal for Luton since his move from Coventry. He hasn't had too many opportunities as yet, Liam Walsh. Here's Chong, who's scored tonight. Hooking another one for Morris, chasing after it. Looks as though Hagan might have been pulling him back to start with. Holgate comes back to mop up, and it's come off his knee and goes out of play for a Luton corner. And at the risk of labouring the point, that is at moments like this that fifth yellow card that Alfie Doughty picks up becomes all the more frustrating. And he could be so relied upon to produce a quality out swinger from this Luton left. Instead it's going to be Baptiste, a far and in swinger from the left. McGuinness stands by the penalty spot. He's one of 4 Luton players, almost all touching each other. McGuinness trying to get free. Plenty of blocking going on. Oh, near post flick header from Hashioka. Hits the outside of the post and goes wide for a goal kick.
I'll tell you what, that was a very good corner, really good header, but because he's ahead of the near post, for him to flick it, he's almost had to go and flick it at the top of his head. It's come off the side of his head and it's hit the post and gone in. And they're knocking at the door, Luton, aren't they? He's going far from over.
Albion will make their final change. John Swift coming on to replace Carlin Grant. So the 4 forwards that started the game for West Brom all off now. Swift coming on. A man who's without a goal in 18 for West Brom since they netted against Rotherham back in April.
But he's trying to get control of the game. West Brom have completely lost control since Luton got the equaliser. In terms of just controlling the tempo, it's one thing to be a little bit under pressure, but you get the feeling that goal from Luton is coming. And Carlos Corberán wants his team to just try and quieten the crowd and quieten this Luton side.
So Albion now lining up 4-2-3-1 again. It's the same back 4 as has played the whole game. Malumbi alongside Mowat in the centre of midfield. Fellows on the right, Johnston on the left, and Swift off Cole up front. Throw to West Brom, which is headed on by Devante Cole, driven in by Fellows. Got a long way, cleared. Then a right-footed shot comes in. Baptiste blocking that one from Malumbi, who nearly had his leg swept away from him on the edge of the penalty area. Play goes on. Albion have got it on the edge of the box. All of a sudden, Fellows causing problems there. Johnston trying to do likewise now on the Albion left. Gets to the byline, stands up across, hits Hashioka. Out of play for an Albion corner.
Well, now it's Albion's turn, isn't it? Can they do another smash and grab, which we talked about at the end of the first half, where they went 1-0 up? I mean, without a doubt, its next goal wins it, so this is crucial.
Luton got struck by late goals last weekend against Coventry. They have to make sure that they try and stand firm here. Albion looking for a 2-1 lead that will take them up to third. Low corner comes in, it's blocked, an Albion player down on the deck, another low ball in, that one acrobatically hammered away by Jacob Brown. The former Stoke man gets it clear, out for a throw, taken back for Styles for West Bromwich Albion, who are camped in Luton's half just for the time being. Have the ball with Swift over on the far touchline. Johnston will take over, getting towards the byline, pulling it back here. John Swift, right-footed efforts, another important block from Hashioka. It's had a good night tonight for Luton. Ball coming forward again from Luton, but they can't get it to stick, and all of a sudden it's West Brom who are beginning to turn the screw with that little bit of belief. Now that Swift has come on, they've got a better balance about them seemingly, and Mowat will play it out towards Johnston, continue his run, low ball in from him, that's blocked by Mengi, and it's out for another West Brom corner.
Well, it's great to see that Albion themselves are trying to go for the win. We haven't seen it up until now really. It was a brilliant block from Hashioka. We'll never know whether it was a goal-saving block, but there's a decent strike from inside the box. But Albion, you're right, have just felt in the last couple of minutes we can go on and win this.
In comes the corner towards the near post, and it's half cleared. Brown went up for it. It looked as though it had gone out of play for a goal kick, and then the ball bobbling back around inside the penalty area. It's then cleared, goes out of play. What has been given as a West Bromwich Albion throw over on that far touchline. Furlong's going to go across to take it. The Albion fans at that end of the ground. The Oak Road stand, on the right-hand half of the Oak Road stand. They've got a little bit more than half of that stand away to our right, and they've got the perfect view here. Perfect opportunity for a limbs moment. With 2.5 minutes to go away from home at 1-1. A goal now would be something that would set up their weekend. Will Furlong be the architect? He's gone over to the left-hand side, launches a long throw inside the box. Holgate looking for the contact. It beat him, beat everybody. Cole couldn't get there to react. Brown hooks it away. It's out for a throw, which will be taken on the West Bromwich Albion right, and Furlong has sprinted from the left touchline out to the right so that he can launch another one inside the penalty area. There's an extra ball on the pitch for a moment. He's just had to retrieve that, which is now done. The referee waves him back 3-4 yards. And he's got the ball, just drying it on his dark blue and white striped shirt. Now hurling it inside the penalty area. A little bit of spin on it as well. It's taken a flick. Oh, another head kick. Well saved by Kaminsky. Really good attempt from Devante Cole. 6 yards out. Overhead, on target and powerful. Couldn't get it either side of the goalkeeper. He did well to get it as close as he did. And Kaminsky made a slight movement to his right-hand side. Instinctively threw out a hand and makes the save.
Yeah, do you know what? First of all, it was a really good, low, flat, fast throw-in. The flick on, Devante Cole did so well to do an overhead kick. Great save.
At the other end, Chong for Luton, turning away from Fellows on the edge of the penalty area. Walsh will take over. Liam Walsh curved inside the penalty area, headed away by Holgate and further clear by Johnston. Out towards Mengi, who had to make sure he didn't get caught in possession. He stumbled once, then stumbled again. Almost presented it to Malumbi, but he's managed to maintain the ball for Luton. Then it's given away cheaply by Amari Bell. West Brom get it forward. McGuinness, knowing when's a good time to give a free kick away, leans into Cole. An angry reaction on the benches, and a yellow card is shown. And I must admit, I don't know who got that yellow card there, whether it was Bell. So free kick should be taken for West Brom on halfway. A little bit of wrestling going on from Amari Bell, and he's in the book.
He picked up the ball and didn't let it go, and that's why he's got the yellow card.
But what that has done is allowed Luton the opportunity to get their shape back for this free kick, which Holgate sends swinging forward as we tick into 90 minutes. 4 added minutes to be played. Luton going to throw inside their own half in the right back position. Hashioka will go across to take it.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I think the way this second half has gone, I think a draw is a fair result. There's another draw for Albion, one that they don't want, and obviously Luton are desperate to get back to winning ways. You can feel not the desperation, but the sheer determination to try and get the winner. I'm not quite sure it's going to come though. You never know.
Albion beat Plymouth back on September the 21st, and that was their 5th win in 6 games. They haven't won since. This will be 7th without a victory if they can't find a very late breakthrough here. They've got 3 minutes of added time, but it's Luton on the front foot at the moment. Morris taking on Styles, checks back inside, drags the ball back away from Mowat. Swift comes back from West Brom and wins it back. He finds Johnston. Albion still deep inside their own half. Styles plays it forward. Walsh almost threw him to the ground. Referee says play on. It's a throw. After Styles' clearance sailed out of play. Another high hoisted ball forward from Mengi. Well, so high, almost hurt your eyes looking for the flight of the ball into the floodlights as it came down. It's gone out of play for another throw. It's going to be taken on again by Bell to Chong. Chong towards the edge of the penalty area. Baptiste back for Tafe. Chong again. Chong back to McGuinness. McGuinness to Walsh. 2 minutes of added time to go. 1-1 the scoreline. Does it break Morris's way? Brown thought he was fouled. Referee says no. Fellows clears. Only as far as Chong. Luton coming forward again. Chong making his way forward. Finding Amari Bell. Everyone's staying forward now for Luton as best they can. Goal for either side surely wins it. Walsh clipping it in, right-footed. Brown going up for it. Who's going to win the seconds? It'll be Hashioka out on the right-hand side of the penalty area, taking the ball down towards the corner flag where he had two Albion players on him. They've tag teamed to win it back. Long ball launched forward by the Baggies, looking for Cole, only finding McGuinness. McGuinness knocking it away. Then it comes forward again. Cole chasing after that, but Mengi has got it. Mengi out towards Hashioka. Another ball swung forward, but from a deeper position. Morris with a great jump and flick on. Couldn't find Clark inside the penalty area, and it's clear. Hashioka gets his head on that clearance. 90 seconds to go. Looks set to be a 1-1 draw this, but Luton's still trying. There's persistence, there's patience. Not a lot of time for them. Ball out on the right flank again with Hashioka. Ball comes Mengi. Mengi goes back for McGuinness, the deepest of Luton's outfield players, and he's half the centre circle for Mengi. Mengi clipping a good right-footed ball down the line, and Hegem just did well. He stayed strong and didn't allow Clark the opportunity to make a run past him and get the ball.
He did. That was brilliant defending, and he has been the main signing of the summer where he's played really well, and mainly at left back, but he is a centre half, and I think he showed his class there, his reading of the game. I think he's been excellent tonight, I really do.
A player signed from Swedish football from Brom, the mid-table side in the Swedish Allsvenskan. He's done really well. He's got some more work to do now. Judges a bounce and judges it really well. But he's stabbing the ball away from danger and away from Morris. He's fed Brown. Much deeper though. Luton have got one last chance here. 4 minutes are up pretty much. Chong taking on Fellows, trying to get to the byline, wraps his left foot around it after it's gone out of play for a goal kick, and that is going to see this game end all square, I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. He's unlucky, Chong. You can see what he's trying to do. Fellows again, though. I talked about Carlon Grant early on in the second half. You want your wide players to be tracking back. That's exactly what Carlos Corberán will be wanting him to do there, Fellows, and by defending well and Chong feeling he's having to get the extra touch, he's overplayed it. It's ended up going for a goal kick, and I wouldn't be surprised when the ball's in the air, the referee whistle goes.
So honours even. The points shared, the frustration shared as well, to a certain extent. Because Luton had long spells where they were on top there, but couldn't find a way through. They do at least arrest the losing streak at 2. But it's only 1 point from their last 3 games. For Albion, it's 7 without a win now, on a day when they had the lead but couldn't hold on against the side in the bottom 3. 5 draws in a row for them, but having played a game more than all of their promotion rivals, they're still outside of the top 4. Entertaining second half, to say the least, but neither side could find a winner. It's finished. Luton 1, West Brom 1.